O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge, just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hashtag no music, no intro.
Yep.
Boy. You know what, man? As I was at work all day today, I thought I was gonna jump on this and just unload. But I realized I do that so much. Like that's my MO when these dudes do things. So you know what? I drove home, chilling, just driving, had a nice drive home. I said, you know what? I'm gonna just take a step back. I'm gonna let Ryan start things off, bro. I'm gonna let you start this off. We're gonna talk about the 53-man roster. We're gonna talk, the Trevor Penning injury and the more details about. But like the big thing we gotta talk about Ceedy Deuce being traded 2 weeks
Man.
for the season, Ryan, for chump change.
Nothing.
Not only for chump change, he got traded to a division contender.
The one team that had our number the past couple of years. So Ceedy Deuce.
You know what, bro? I'm just gonna mute myself. I'm gonna let you start, give your thoughts, and then I'm gonna pick you back because I don't want to come out hot. Like I'll save it. But talk about your initial reaction. But before you do that, can we go back in time? Let's go back in time. Let's go back to the beginning of May on this podcast. Let's go back to the beginning of May on this podcast where we talked about Ceedy Deuce, his contract situation, and everything. So let's play the clip. So we're gonna play the clip, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna let Ryan give his thoughts about the whole situation. So listen. I'm gonna take the listeners back to what we said on a May, like it was like the first week of May episode. I believe it was May 6th, and then we'll be back.
I know people aren't going to want to hear it, but during this season, last season, leading up to free agency, what did we say? Saints weren't going to let Marcus Williams walk. There's no way.
Yeah.
No way. He's gone, right?
Yeah.
Trey Hendrickson, it was more 50-50, but I had felt that he had played himself with the flat cap at that time. I felt he had played himself, out of the Saints price range of what they were going to be able to offer him. I kind of saw the Trey Hendrickson one, but they lost Trey Hendrickson. They didn't retain Marcus Williams. I think there's this perception that getting a deal done with Ceedy, like it's got to happen, right? It's got to happen. Ceedy Deuce, he's lifeblood of the defense. There's no way they let Ceedy walk, right? I'm just saying, bro.
Here's another thing I'm waiting on somebody to talk about, but his contract's going to be interesting because he is a safety. Like his position is safety, but he predominantly plays as a quarterback.
He's a nickel. He's a nickelback. Yeah.
And
so you would have I would have to look it up, but I think a good basis of where the contract would start is what I believe he plays for the Bengals. What Mike Hilton got from the Bengals, because he's like a top 4 nickel in the league. And I don't remember what that contract was. They signed him, was it 2 years ago? Yeah, they signed him 2 years ago. That would kind of be what I guess the starting point would be for Ceedy's contract. Because the Saints are going to try to pay him like a safety. And Ceedy's going to be like, fuck that. Fuck that.
That's what I'm saying. And it's just going to be interesting. Like it's going to be a battle because like just that label has kept him out of the Pro Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like because when they look at safeties, they're looking at tackles, they look at all this. He's not going to have those numbers. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to have all the interceptions, all the numbers, because he's covering. He's a coverage guy.
Yeah, I just looked up Mike Hilton's contract. He signed a 4-year deal for $24 million for like that. So that's like what? That's obviously very cheap. It's like a lot lower than I thought it was, and I know Ceedy's going to want more than that.
He's going to want more than that, bro.
Easily.
So it's just one of those interesting things, I think, and I do, I see your point where, they could be, filling in some gaps to where, maybe they might need to let Ceedy Deuce go. I would hate it, but, that's part of the game, just like Marcus Williams. So it can happen. Don't think it can't happen. Like Saints fans need to understand, it can happen. Like there's no player that's not untouchable.
None
of them.
Absolutely none. Do you have any thoughts?
Okay. Yes.
Go ahead. Floor is yours, Ryan. Floor is yours.
Okay. Now listen, I really like if we would have recorded like a podcast at like 12 o'clock today, I would have went ham. I'm not gonna go as ham right now, bro. But I will say this. It was a horrible trade. It was a horrible trade. Not because I love Ceedy Deuce. I do love Ceedy Deuce. Like I wanted him on the squad long term. But it was a horrible trade because it's like everything about it was horrible. Not only just the compensation, which just blew me away, bro. Like when I saw that he got traded, it was like, oh damn, like fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I didn't want to see him go. But like I said, we like you just heard, we talked about it. It was kind of like not surprising. You know what I'm saying? But I'm thinking, like in my head, I'm like, man, they trading this dude to the Eagles, a conference contender, a team that they've traded with a bunch. No way they getting fleeced here. Like they had to get a nice offer. I'm thinking 3rd round pick. Some people saying 2nd. I'm like, nah, it'd be a 3rd, maybe a 4th round, 3rd conditional. That's what I'm thinking. Then I see the compensation. It's a motherfucking 5th rounder for 2023. The lowest 6th rounder possible in 2024. Oh, and we sent them a 7th round pick. Why? Somebody tell me why. What? You take a top 3, top 5 nickel corner, that's, deserved to be in the Pro Bowl for multiple seasons. And you trade him for nothing. That's what a 5th round pick is to me. It's nothing. A 5th round pick is Rufus Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing to me. Like, it Saints trade those away like it's fucking like pennies you find in, the crack of your mattress or whatever. Like, it's nothing. So you basically gave him away, a player that was making less than $1 million this year, for nothing. Impactful player, a player that solidified your defense the past couple of years, a player that I'm not going to say he was liked in the locker room because I don't know that, I don't know. But a player that was just, kind of integral to this whole defensive renaissance that they've had. And you get back nothing. Like if they would have kept him this year and he walked, maybe they get a 4th round pick back. Maybe a 3rd, depending on the contract he gets.
Yep.
It's like, what is the deal? Now, I know a lot has been written and said that he had become a headache, because he wouldn't talk to the coaches. He was pissed about his contract. We knew that was going to happen. You heard the clip. We knew that they would be far apart on this contract. And my thing is, one person could say, well, look, he's becoming a headache in the building. You got to ship him out. You know what I'm saying? Like this DA is a new coach. He can't have coaches, like Ceedy Deuce. I remember he tweeted a couple of weeks ago that DA lied on him. You know what I'm saying? Then he deleted it. Talking about when DA was when Ceedy Deuce had some conditioning problems or something like that. Oh no, he pulled up limp or something like that. And Ceedy Deuce tweeted he was lying. So little things like that, that from DA's perspective as a new head coach, you got to kind of nip in the bud. So I understand that. So it's not, for me, trading him is not really the thing. It's just the way the Saints work. It's like they get fleeced so much in these little type of deals, man, where they don't understand how to use leverage. It's like, what was the rush? What was the rush to get this done
Now.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because this is the lowest leverage you're going to have as far as trade. Like, trade value is the lowest at this point in the year. Teams are putting together their 53, they're cutting players, they're trying to figure out, what pieces work, what pieces don't. They're not willing to give up major value for the draft for players. And you wait till now to do it. Why not do it in February of this year? Why not wait until, late September, October, when teams start winning, they see, what their roster looking like, what they need, what they don't need. They get injuries. They might, Rams might get 2 cornerback injuries or 2 safeties that's injured. All these teams that start getting thirsty because they feel like they're right on the edge and a player away, and they're willing to give up 3rd round pick, a conditional 2nd round pick. That's when you execute trades like this. But it's just like they never take advantage of the leverage they have, man. And it just goes behind that. They never sign players before they're ready to, hit free agency when they should. We saw with, Marcus Williams. We saw with Trey Hendrickson to a lesser extent. It's like, man, can y'all do something smart for a change when it's coming to draft time? They always giving up a ton of picks, and we got to go back and defend them on Twitter saying, it doesn't matter as long as you get a good player and all that. But how about y'all get some value for a change? You know what I'm saying? This just blows. And the worst thing about this is, we was all excited coming off that preseason game.
That's where
Offense looking good. Defense looking good. We like, man, we ready to roll. Secondary just stacked.
Hope, bro. Hope.
We thinking with a Jameis Winston-led team. We thinking Super Bowl.
How crazy is that?
We thinking Super Bowl. You know what I'm
saying?
How crazy is that, bro? How crazy is that? And then you do this. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't even get to the 53-man roster.
No, we haven't got to that yet.
But just this move is like, man, it's like, yeah, the secondary is still good, but man, you lost a chink in the armor, bro. Like you lost a big chink in the armor. You know what I'm saying? You had one of the best best nickel back cornerbacks in the league. Not only that, he was a great safety, and you send him to Philly. He's gonna ball out.
Not only in Philly. You know what Philly gonna do? And we've been on this train for a while, right?
Long time.
We said those 4 or 5 games that Von Bell got hurt and Ceedy played strong safety for those 4 or 5 games. We said, bro, you should move him back. Like, as great as he is as a nickel, his safety play,
right?
Nigga, I still remember that Titans game.
Oh yeah,
laid out that poor receiver. That man was just limp.
Limp.
Ball was on the floor, picked up, fumble. They didn't want to play him at safety for whatever reason. Stubborn. So he goes to Philly, gonna be able to play free safety. And everything you said, the thing that I keep coming back to is this trade to me was a trade out of spite.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't, it's a trade out of spite. And I think the thing that just even so, I'm not even emotionally connected to them. I just hate, like, you can't come out and say, we believe we are like, there's no rebuild. We're trying to compete right now. We're trying to we can win right now. And then 2 weeks before the season, you're gonna trade a top 3 nickel in the league for like chump change. I could even understood if it was like, all right, you got maybe a 3rd rounder back. If you got a 2nd rounder back, he's like, you know what? It sucks, but the Saints are low on draft picks. But then it goes back to that thing of like, well, if they don't hit on the draft pick, it doesn't even matter. Then the trade compensation comes out, and it's like, what the fuck we doing? And everyone's like, well, yeah, but like, we just slide Roby in as safety. We've said on this podcast, the thing that made this team special, especially in the secondary, was its depth. Because football and injuries fucking happen. They just do. But the secondary was so deep, it was like, okay, if Ceedy has to miss a game or whatever, there was enough depth on the roster and talented depth on the roster where you're not taking such a substantial hit if a starter goes down. So now your entire that's gone. So you have Lattimore, you have a Debo, and then you have Roby in the slot. So then if Roby gets hurt, then I guess, okay, maybe we can use Justin Evans there. Maybe we can use Teron there. But if that doesn't work out, like you man in the slot with Alontae Taylor, who had 6 snaps in the preseason and a hip flexor in training camp.
Right.
Like, what are we doing? And
I said in the Discord, man, this shit to me reminds me of when Sean would, or I can't say it was just Sean, but a trade of an offensive player would happen. And the mindset is we can get similar production from other players, from cheaper players, and we'd be just fine. And I feel like it's the mirror universe of that. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. We could trade Ceedy, and it's the hubris thing. And I want to be clear, right? I'm not saying that it may not work out, because it might, right? Like, who knows? Roby could go out and ball this season. Alontae Taylor may in theory, quote unquote, make us forget about Ceedy, but it just goes back to, you can't come out and lie to our faces and say we're all in on winning and then trade like at least a top 3 nickel in the league. You can't do it because it just contradicts that statement. That's one thing that annoys me about it. But I gotta get about this other thing that annoys me about this whole situation. This whole smear campaign, and I've been super busy with work all day today, super busy. But I've glistened enough and have seen enough, to quote Sean Payton, I've seen enough to know that what's been coming out and what's being reported, and I tweeted this today was all about PR. Today was all about damage control. If a story comes out and it's strictly the team side, where did that come from? It comes from the team. It comes from the fucking team. And I tweeted it and you texted me about it, bro. But let's go back a couple of years. Remember when Deshaun Jackson just randomly got cut by the Eagles by Chip Kelly? Oh, yeah.
And 5 minutes later, NewJersey.com had this article Deshaun Jackson was a gang member and he was just
throwing up gang signs, scoring touchdowns and throwing up gang signs.
And I remember that whole time so vividly. And even though I was younger, I was still smart enough to put it together. It was even, let's even say Deshaun Jackson on the slide was, maybe he was a Crip. Maybe it was. But there had not been any hard evidence, no arrest, no report, nothing when he got cut, before he got cut, after he got cut, went to Washington, went to Tampa Bay. This man has lived a clean fucking life since that cut happened. But where did NewJersey.com get that story from? Got it from Chip Kelly, because it makes the team look like, to fans, oh, well, shit, if Ceedy was not taking the coaching, well, goodness gracious me, I get it now. What are we doing? I don't like the smear campaign, man. And it's another part about the smear campaign that annoys me. And I get the NFL is predominantly black athletes, but it's always happened to the niggas, bro. It's always happened to people like us. Am I wrong?
No, bro, you're not wrong, man.
The only white player that has had a smear campaign against them has been Carson Wentz, which tells you how awful as a person Carson Wentz must really fucking be, bro. No one can't stand him. And I think that's what's in my crawl the most, because let's go back to Ceedy, right? Let's go back to Ceedy as a prospect. Fell in draft, coming out of Florida. Because what? Coaches badmouthed him. Fell to the fourth round. So now all this dude has done since he's been drafted, all he's done is produced on the field.
Yeah.
Period. Produced on the field. You can't say he hasn't been arrested. He hasn't been like a knucklehead. Is he annoying? Is he fucking like just, he gets under an opponent's skin? Like, yeah, that's part of his game. But as a person and as a player, there's never been anything that's come out about him until now. Like all of a sudden, the day of the trade.
That I think what you hit on right there is the problem, and that I think it underscores a issue with not only NFL coverage but especially the Saints, because the Saints have they have like a mom and pop operation going on here, where we know if you come down too hard on the Saints, you might not get media access. Honestly, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Especially when Sean Payton was running. I don't know how it is now, but that's when Sean Payton running it. You was getting your media access was not getting approved. We've already heard the stories about him calling certain reporters 6 o'clock in the morning and laying them out. You know what I'm saying?
Because they wrote in the article wasn't even that negative, bro.
Wasn't even that negative. Just pointing out something. You know what I'm saying? So we know how it is, and I think that underscores the point that it's like Saints fans sitting here thinking, oh, everything's all good with Ceedy. It's just just a contract negotiation, and then boom, he gone. Then boom, oh, he's been a headache in the locker room. It's like, whoa, where the hell did all this come from? You know what I'm saying? And like you said, it does come from the team. And look, NFL coverage, sports coverage is very loosey goosey. It's not like quote unquote real journalism where, okay, you get the team's perspective and then you go to Ceedy and his people and you get his perspective. What were your thoughts about the team saying that you weren't talking to coaches, or you doing this, or you doing that? What were your thoughts in that situation? That pretty much doesn't happen in the NFL because it's kind of loose. You know what I'm saying? You just you report what's out there and you put it out there, and it runs with it. Now look, on that note, look, Ceedy Deuce, loving to death, but we know he got a little of that, that in him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you can say it, bro. It's our podcast. You can say got that nigga in him.
Got that nigga in him. You know what I'm saying? He just that's just the fact. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna rub some people wrong. They will be okay with Deshaun Watson. With multiple sexual assault allegations, not multiple, but like dozens of sexual assault allegations. But you know what? In front of the media, he's a pretty, swell guy. You know what I'm saying? He's a swell guy. Kind of carries himself pretty good. Ceedy Deuce, you know what I'm saying? He just ignorant. You know what I'm saying? He just ignorant little dude. And I think that rubbed coaches and some teammates the wrong way. Take it how you want it, but I think it did. And I think they felt they had to get that out the locker room. And I do kind of understand from DA's perspective as a new coach. And look, DA knows Ceedy Deuce better than anybody. It's not like he's a new head coach that's coming in. He knows Ceedy Deuce. Like, he knows his strengths, weaknesses, this, that, and the other. And so he knows what he's ready to deal with tonight. So if he felt that's something he didn't want to deal with, on one level, I got to understand that. But just like you pointed out, the hubris, just like Sean Payton, I'm like, man, like a player being a little disgruntled about his pay is not new in the NFL. Like this
we could just go back AK wasn't scrolling about his.
I mean, the dude came to camp and left.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like don't give me nothing about he was causing headache. Like that's a part of, bro. That's just a part of, like, if you're a head coach, that's just a part of it. You got to manage that shit.
We ain't forgetting that Mike Thomas didn't answer phone calls like a whole offseason, bro.
Man, listen, and DA going to take a private trip to get to know Mike Thomas and all that. Like, come on, man. Like, these players making multi-millions of dollars. They're divas. They're super competitive. They bought their money. Like, these are egos. Oh, you name it. All the little personality traits you could throw out there. All these things come with the game, man. And ultimately, Dennis Allen felt like Ceedy Deuce wasn't good enough to have to go through all that. Because if he was, if it was a certain player,
you telling me like it just that, and you're right. I know you're right, but like you're like, and I know you're saying it, and I know I'm not asking you this question. It's more of a question that if we had media credentials, got denied. But if we got to ask the Saints, you're telling me that you couldn't put up with Ceedy Deuce for 18 weeks, 19 weeks to win a Super Bowl? Like that just that
what
makes
what was the rush? What was the rush?
Quote my line from fucking Meet the Parents, bro. Where's the fire?
It's like what? Like, was he going to be that bad in the locker room that you couldn't wait to try to get the best compensation allowed?
Or it's like I'm not even talking like at that point. I'm not even about compensation. I'm just like, let the fucking season play out with him on the roster. If he's gonna walk, then he's just gonna fucking walk and then get a comp pick.
And then you get a comp pick. If you don't get a comp pick, you had the best squad you could put on the field.
This is bad team management. It is it's bad team management. There's no other way around it. And it's funny because you go back to Friday. People in our Discord were just like, man, can you just take me back to Friday? Like, yeah, the Penny news was kind of like a bummer, but like we just had like, there was just this because we saw it all. We saw everything we needed to see, Ryan. We saw the office. Jameis looked healthy. He looked good. He was throwing the Jarvis Landry. He was throwing the Chris Olave. The line looked good. AK was going through them hoes. They was big as shit. Defense got a 3 and out. Like, we
could have stopped right there, bro. That was good.
What did they say, man? It was just good. It was all good just a week ago. Just a week ago, bro. I extended this offer out to Ceedy on Twitter. He probably didn't see it. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. But we talked about this. I feel like it feels like kind of like gotcha reporting. Like, gotcha. Oh, this is what it is. Gotcha. Man, I'm not about that. Like, we're not about that. Our podcast is not about that. I would love, and it would be an ignorant as shit podcast, but I would love if we could just get Ceedy on and just talk to him, bro, and get it from his perspective. And someone that I feel like we should not let off the hook about this, because we got to talk about Mickey Loomis, bro. We got to talk about him. So you let Mark. So I'm not even going all the way back. I'm just going recent examples. I could go way back. I could talk about Carl Nicks. I could talk about the whole Mark Ingram situation. I'm not even go that far, bro. I'm just going with recent examples. Okay. So Marcus Williams leaves and signs with the Ravens for, I don't want to say the exact number on the pod, but a number you would feel shouldn't have been an issue to have him stay with the team, for him being as young as he was and having the type of elite skill set that he had, right? Wasn't really upset with the Trey Hendrickson thing. Wasn't like, I got it, understood it. Wasn't except upset with that one because of the whole COVID season, blah, blah, blah. Got that one. And then you have Ceedy, who Jeff Duncan reported was $4 million, and take that as I won't say take it as a grain of salt, but also consider the source. And you're telling me that you drafted so well in the past, you drafted so well that you're not able to financially move your stance so you can keep and retain young talent. That's the part in the shit that blows me away. Because it's not even about, it's to me, like, you can't even tell me with a straight face, like, we couldn't afford it. Because it's never that. Like, I know Neo, aka Kai in the Matrix, bruh. Morpheus, just it can get figured out. That's not an issue. But if you have Mickey, who just has it so stuck in his ways, and it just does not budge ever, and this, like, to the point where it's just like, you ever just be in a relationship with a person and the person relationship just feels like nothing's ever their fault?
Oh yeah,
like they're just like their shit don't stink.
right.
Like, if that person is continually getting in relationships and they're always not the problem, like, you're the fucking problem.
Right. At some point, you got to look in the mirror.
Talk about it, bro.
Here's my thing, though. It's like, okay, Ceedy was a problem, but you were offering him a long-term contract. So it's like, so it's like, is he a problem? Like, okay, he's not a problem at, $8, $9 million a year, but at 12 million, 13 million, he's a problem. It's like, so what is it? Like, is he a problem or not? Like, those are the things that really just annoy me with, like, about this whole thing. And it's not even that I really, like, just like they pay the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, because look, I think players should be paid, but look, if the Saints felt like this is not what they want to allocate it, I completely understand. Like, if they didn't want to allocate that type of money to the nickel, the nickel spot, I completely get it. Like, I understand it from a business perspective. But it wasn't that, man. It was just the whole way they did it, bro. It was the whole way they did it.
It was spite,
you
bro.
had to go through a whole training camp. Like, why? Why? Like, what was the point?
And now whatever. They don't give two shits about Ceedy but now this man has to, like, get acclimated to a completely different defense in like 2 weeks, bro.
It's like, why? What was the point of that? Like, what was the point of just making this show about him being a part of the team, taking pictures and all this? Like, what was the point?
We talked about it, bro. We talked about what was our biggest concern we had about this defense. All the new moving pieces in the secondary. Marcus Maye's new, Teron's new, and they don't have Marcus to be that eliminator in the back anymore. So, like, the way they do things defensively is going to be different. So our concern for the defense was like, man, we might see some early big busts in the season, got some 40, 50-yard plays. But now it's just like another player, and I get it, like, Roby was here last year, but, like, Ceedy's been the nickel. Like, unless has been hurt, he's been the nickel.
And we gave a 3rd-round pick for Roby. And he couldn't beat out Ceedy. So we give a 3rd-round pick for Roby, who couldn't beat out Ceedy. But we trade Ceedy.
Couldn't beat out Ceedy or Debo.
Right. So how does that not enter their mind when they're talking trade value? Like, why not just hang up on the Eagles? Like, no. Wait a week, wait 2 weeks, wait 3 weeks. Like, why? Like, why make that move, man? That just, oh my God. That shit just annoys me, bro.
It's funny because I feel like you said, you were like, you had thought, like, at 12 you would have listened to them, and then later you got better. And I feel like talking about it, you're back to like 12 o'clock.
that shit is annoying. Because I'm telling you, man, you can look at my tweets. When I saw the trade, I was like, fuck. And then, I just kind of talked through it, you know what I'm saying? But then I was just waiting on the compensation. Then the compensation came out, and I just laughed, bro. Like,
bro. Like, we had the exact
I was sitting at my desk at work just laughing, man. You're like, man, what you laughing at? Man, see, the dudes got traded for nothing. Nothing.
Not even a beignet, bro.
And what kills me is this team, Mickey Loomis, is so unmovable when it comes to negotiating with players. But man, when it comes to trades, he's just like fold, man. He's okay, I'll take it. It's like
He said, "You want me to put it to the left side or the right side? You just want me to just take them all the way down?" Like,
and then people just like, oh, well, that's the market. That's what they could have got. It's like, how you know? It's like, how you know? Like, how do you know how they approach that trade? Like, I don't know. It's like, how do we even know how they approach that trade? Did they call every team? Did they field calls from every team? Did they wait it out? Like, we don't know, how they did it. It is interesting that, the Detroit Lions, Aaron Glenn, and those guys, they need talent. They need all the talent they need. It is interesting they didn't get a call, or they didn't make an offer. Maybe they did make an offer and it was just lower than the Eagles. But man, it's like, I know when it comes to trades, man, it's like all about timing. It is all about timing.
let's speak about it, right? Same team, same two teams. Before the draft, Eagles call the Saints. Hey, don't want to get this other first round pick we got? Yeah. Hell yeah, we do. We need y'all's next year's first and next year's second. Okay. Say less.
Let's do it. Like, sometimes you just gotta ask, put it out there. What do you want? What do you want? Hey, we got this, Ceedy Deuce, we don't look like we got this contract, we get the contract resolved. What would you take for him? We don't mind keeping him. We'll let him play the year, but what would you give us for him right now? And it's like, just listen, you know what I'm saying? And maybe they did do that, bro. Like, I don't know. We can't know, but it's like, it just don't feel right, man. Like that composition. We drafted him in the fourth round. Like, we didn't even get the fourth rounder back. Like, we couldn't even get what we paid for him.
Drafted for the fourth round. He's like exceeded his draft. Like, he should have been drafted in the first round by his
literally was playing the week 1 of his rookie season, getting smoked by Deshaun Watson. Was crying on the sideline. I'll never forget. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, but had a great rookie season, up and down here and there, but he was great and started since. You know what I'm saying? Like, you telling me that's worth a fifth rounder? Oh my God. And I know I get caught up on the conversation. And because bigger than that, I just like, as a fan, I like having the guy on the team. I just enjoyed, as someone who watched football on Sunday, I enjoyed having Ceedy Deuce on the team.
You loved it, bro. So he goes to the Eagles, and like, that's the part of me that also, like, we hit on it. Ooh. It's like, was there not an AFC fucking team? Like, not a one?
Anybody? Browns, the Jaguars. Like, Jaguars didn't want a nickel.
Like shit, DM John Shipley. Shit. Like,
nobody wanted this nickel corner right here. His reputation is that sullied around the league.
I don't believe that, bro. I don't.
Like, are you serious? Like, did he do something that bad?
I don't. I mean, he can't do nothing that bad, bro. Like, Deshaun Watson out here, like, coming on tables and forcing women to touch him. And
but to be fair, players don't care about that.
I do.
They don't care.
That I do know.
It did get on my radar that Saints players. I didn't see no tweets. I didn't see no. Man, I can't believe I didn't see any tweets. I mean, I saw the Mario Davis person, man. He was just like, well.
Isn't that very telling?
So I don't know what to make. It could mean nothing, but it was like, maybe Ceedy was kind of annoying in the locker room. You know what I'm saying?
I can easily fucking see Ceedy being annoying in the locker room.
You can believe that, man. But my thing is just from a head coach's perspective, man. Like, you got to manage that shit, bro. You got to manage personalities. Like, Sean Payton, with his dickish ways, and he would kick a player out in a heartbeat. Even he talked about, like, trying to manage Jeremy Shockey back with the Giants, and when he brought him to the Saints, because Jeremy Shockey was a headache. You know what I'm saying? trying to manage Reggie Bush, who, wasn't a headache per se, as far as like, in the locker room or whatever, but he was a pop star. He was a personality, you know what I'm saying? So you got to manage these things, man, and you can't manage every player the same. Not every player is going to be happy about making a certain amount of money, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they're going to be pissed off at the coaches, and you got to just work through that shit, bro. Especially if you want to go get that Super Bowl championship. And that's what just makes me wonder, like, we went through this all over, and we right back to what is the vision?
Boy. I was thinking
right
about it
back
earlier,
here,
bro.
We right back to what's the vision? I thought we had the vision, but now we right back to what is the vision?
Gotta post that vision meme from WandaVision again, bro. Deshaun Vision. I wish I
get on the.
Go ahead.
I was saying you won't get on the 53, bro. I said.
O'Reilly.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What's up, Ryan?
Yo.
I'm just going to say this. I don't want you to get offended. I'm a big dude. You a big dude. Damn. And I know sometimes weight loss has been an issue that we both dealt with our entire lives. But I want to tell you about something that I came across about this great new company called Vertimax.
Okay.
Did you know that Vertimax is the leading sports performance and fitness equipment company that's used by half of D1 programs and half of the NFL and NBA teams? We have an NFL podcast. It's used by professional leagues as well as other teams all around the world. There's the Vertimax platform and there's a Vertimax Raptor used to help athletes improve their performance on the field for almost 3 decades. That's almost as old as you. I know we pick on him, but did you know that we pick on him in terms of his workouts? But Jameis Winston actually has trained on a Vertimax Raptor, and the King of New Orleans himself, Drew Brees, has trained on a Vertimax platform, along with other top NFL and college football pro athletes. I was just scrolling on TikTok. I saw Amari Cooper using a Vertimax machine.
Wow.
We know we have a lot of listeners that have kids. They're in sports, they're in soccer, baseball, football, track and field, you name it. If you're a parent and you want to help your child improve in terms of their sports performance, or maybe you just feel like you just want to get your body right for the summer and get fit, you need to check out Vertimax. So all you have to do is go to Vertimax.com or follow them on social media at Vertimax. That's VERTI Max. Again, that's at VERTI Max. Vertimax.com. Look into getting yourself a Vertimax platform, a Vertimax Raptor, and tell me you won't see the improvement.
Yeah, I mean, I've said everything I wanted to say on the situation, man. And part of me didn't want to talk about this on the pod. Like we had put it in our Discord, we were going to leave it at that. But when everything happened today, like I couldn't help it, bro. Like I had to tweet about it, and I said, this past weekend we requested media credentials for the pod, and it got denied, and we, for all intents and purposes, the reason it got denied was basically y'all don't have enough clout. Like y'all don't have enough following. Y'all kind of nobodies, lower level, where there's algorithms and blah, blah, blah that we follow. And like, you're not at the level that, is needed to get media credentials, essentially for all intents and purposes, what we're told. And then this trade happens. And I was just, and I'm not saying that reasoning isn't valid, but if I'm the Saints front office hierarchy, I can understand why you might want to give us media credentials right now. Because maybe they knew that trade was coming. They was like, oh Lord. They knew the storm was coming. So I do want to give a shout out to Scottish who I say this sincerely and honestly, like, we did not ask Chris to do like the
petition.
Yeah, the petition for us to get media credentials. Most often than not, petitions mean absolutely fucking nothing. But I do want.
Man, I just signed a petition to bring back the jalapeno cheddar biscuit at Whataburger.
Oh, they went away. I don't like jalapeno cheddar biscuits. I don't like.
Oh, bro, that shit is crack, boy. That shit is. Man. I was so pissed when they took that shit away.
Oh, anyway, it's like me. They don't probably have El Pollo Locos out there, but they had this jalapeno hot sauce, by far the best hot sauce I've ever had in my life. And like 2 months ago, they discontinued it.
Oh,
I was livid, bro. You can ask my girl, bro. I was in the drive-thru when they told me. I almost came a Karen.
Crying, man. I'm gonna cry. Like, what? What do you mean?
You got the hot sauce? But much love to Chris for getting that petition together.
Yeah, shout out
anyone
Chris.
anyone who signs it, we appreciate it. We don't expect it to end in anything, but I do want to just be honest about the podcast, and I'm glad, and maybe ultimately us never getting credential honestly may be the best thing for us, because our podcast, whether we're with Minute Media or not, if we're just us, we can unapologetically just always be us and have an honest discussion about the Saints, about the team, not worry about, oh, if we say this. And here's the thing about us, like, even if we got credential, like, our attitudes wouldn't change. We just ask the question we want to ask in a very professional type of way. Like,
right.
We are both intelligent Black men, and we know how to play the game. We worked in offices, we worked in businesses. We know how to ask questions and get our message across in the way that it is viewed of how it's supposed to be. But people that support us and who wants us, like, in the room, quote unquote, to really ask the questions that need to be asked, we appreciate that. We really, really do.
I will say this. Like, we both got day jobs.
Yep.
So it's like, it's like, okay, who cares? I can still pay my bills.
Yeah.
If my bills were dependent on
oh boy,
what question I asked, I mean, hey, I like to say I'll be that brave dude, but I don't know.
Right.
I'll be like Cat, man. Cat just throw that little question out, just to throw it out there, just to see where, see if it lands or not. Get shot down
with those quick jabs, bro, like a box, like.
Oh, she throw them out there, bro. I always laugh at her, but she throw it out there. She was like, so what she asked today? She asked this, like, so was that about yeah? She was like, so was this about Ceedy Deuce's contract negotiations? Just throw it out there. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there.
Shout out to Cat. Shout out to KT.
Ask it,
Let's I think we've talked all we could about Ceedy. Let's get to the. Can you talk about the 50? Can we talk about the 53? Like, this team's maybe making me laugh all day, bro. All day. I tweeted it. You can't tell me that you watched the preseason and watch the snaps that Taco Charlton had in the preseason.
Man,
compare those to Peyton Turner, and with a straight face, objectively tell me that Peyton Turner deserves a spot on this team more than Taco Charlton, just based off play. You can't.
no.
I understand why Peyton Turner's on the team, because what does it all go back to, Ryan?
Sunky calls.
Sunky calls, bro. Can't cut Peyton Turner, bro. He's first round pick. No matter if he looked like ass in the preseason. Nothing was like, there was some surprises. Eric Wilson cut.
Yeah.
Bostic cut. Kurt Merritt cut. I don't expect this to be like the team that is ready for week one. Like, there's still a lot of players that got cut around the league. They may sign a player, they may claim a player from waivers. A lot of things can still happen. But what are just your initial thoughts from the 53-man roster?
You just kind of realize how thin some spots are, man. Like offensive tackle, you got 5 tackles? You got Ramczyk, Hurst, Penny, who's injured, Landon Young, and Lewis Kidd. It's like, okay, Ramczyk, he's like dealing with the chronic knee injury.
Chronic.
Where it's just something he's going to have to manage just like forever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Then you got linebacker. Oh, my God.
Let's talk about it, bro.
Like, you can't have any injuries at linebacker. You just can't. You can't afford any.
You can't have any injuries at linebacker in the position literally like just trying to tackle another fucking human being every fucking play.
Like, so you got DeMario and Pete Werner. Pete Werner, who has a groin injury, who God knows how that plays out there this season. He could miss the whole season. He could play we don't know. You got Kane Ellis and Zach Bond, who doesn't play linebacker. Doesn't play linebacker. He's a special teams. And you got Andrew Dow. And it's like, whoo. Like, God forbid 30-something-year-old DeMario Davis misses a game. Because that is just trash. It's dumpster fire, bro. It's like y'all couldn't figure a spot for Eric Wilson or Jason Hanson or somebody. Y'all couldn't figure out a spot. But I guess, like I was thinking, I tweeted earlier, I was like, maybe they just going to play like 6-7 DBs, man. Like, maybe they're just going to play a shitload of DBs, probably have one linebacker on the field a lot. I don't know.
But I mean, even if so, then that goes back. Like, if they were to do that, we don't know if they are. Maybe they'll play. What is it? Is it 3-2-5? I believe.
Yeah.
But like, man, if they primarily play a defense where only one linebacker's on the field, it's like, why did you even draft Pete Werner then? Like, why? Like, why? Like, it becomes like an obsolete fucking pick.
Well, I'm just saying if Pete Werner's hurt, maybe they just be like, fuck it. We'll put PJ Williams in there, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Weird, bro. Like, it's been a gaping hole, and it just goes back to the Quan Alexander. It was like, why not bring him back? Like, why? Like, the money, whatever he was going to cost was not going to set us back.
No. At all. And
the whole thing about him being a starter and that, it's like, come on now, man. It's about money. It's about money.
Quan wanted to be back. I want to put that out there, like in the ether. Like, Quan wanted to be back.
Of course, man. You got Honey Badger here. You got
no matter what may have come out after like he signed with the Jets, he 100% wanted to be a Saint. It's funny because after the Ceedy thing happened, honestly, like all their roster moves like didn't surprise me at all, because it was like,
right.
It was like, of course. Kurt Merritt showed something in preseason, gone. Eric Wilson saw some plays, gone. Oh, you know who's still on the team though? Daniel Sorensen.
Sitting there shining, bro. Number 25. Like, are you kidding me? Are
they
you
make me
kidding me?
they make me laugh, bro. They really do.
Daniel Sorensen, bro.
They make me laugh, bro. So we should give like an update on the Penning injury because it's been some updates since we last recorded. So first it was reported that like with a bad case of turf toe, and I was like, man, that don't look like fucking turf toe to me, bro. Like,
No.
fucking turf toe. I don't know where Ian Rappaport got that shit from. And then like after the MRI, it was like, oh shit, like he has torn ligaments in his ankle, so like he had to have surgery on his ankle, and like maybe the earliest he might be back is like maybe by like December, but like he might not be back at all this season. And it's like you
Why
said
isn't he
earlier,
on IR yet?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it would have to be put on IR like tomorrow because it has to be like after the deadline, and then he could come back.
Yeah.
But it can't be before because if he gets put on IR before, then he's out for the entire season.
Right.
So we might see something like tomorrow, like Wednesday or Thursday, whatever day that maybe he's put on IR, and then if he's able to come back at some point, then they can like take him off of IR. But they couldn't do it before the roster cut down.
Right. Which underscores another point that the roster's not set yet. There's about to be a ton of little moves, like linebacker position. They very well could bring Eric Wilson back or Chase Hansen. They could bring a tackle back. There's going to be some moves in the next few days that kind of. So the roster is not set. This every year we go through this, and we think this is the final three, but it's not. And not only players that hit the waiver wire today, they might get claimed. So we'll see. Running back, you know what I'm saying? We talked about running back all year. Like, it's turned out to be exactly what it was last year. It's Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, Dwayne Washington, Tony Jones, and Prentice at fullback. Like, very underwhelming. Very.
As we wrap up this episode, I know it's a longer one, but there's just so much to talk about. Any just lasting things that you want to like get out, express, 53-man roster, Penning, Ceedy being gone. Can we all, but before we all know like Ceedy's at least getting an interception when the Saints play against the Eagles, right? Like at least.
It's a fact. It's a fact. No, man, like nothing really, bro. It's just like, it does kind of poke a hole in the maybe this team can win the Super Bowl feeling. And that could change. Once the ball gets on the field, see how it rolls, we'll see. But I just don't feel like the defense is going to be that good early. It's going to take a while, and offense. Maybe the offense rises to the occasion, and it'll be an offensive driven team for a little while until the defense really gets a hold of things. I think the notion that the defense could be one of the best defenses in the league is gone, especially with not only with the secondary move, but I mean, is Davenport going to play week 1? Does it matter if Peyton Turner plays week 1 or not? I mean, it doesn't matter.
No, bro.
And you look at defensive tackle, it's like, okay. So it's it's going to be interesting, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. I predicted 10 wins. I'm going to stick at that.
Yeah.
2 wins, man.
10 feels about right, man. After today, I was even with the Penning injury after last Friday. I was like, man, if everything breaks right, like these dudes could win like 11, 12, 13 games. Like I truly believe that, Ryan. I'm not saying that like I was like in like, oh yeah, like I'm reconnect, like just a fan. I honestly believe after that Friday game, I had seen enough to be like, these dudes can win anywhere from like 11 to 13 games, and I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe 13 is a little high, but the NFC's predominantly weak. But now I'm back to about 9 to 10.
Yeah,
feels about right.
Makes sense, bro.
But
that offense, bro, like the offense looked good. I mean, the wide receivers, man, you gotta think back to last year, bro. Now, a lot of this is contingent. You know, like Mike Thomas been out the game about 2 weeks now, bro, with that little hamstring tweak. It's like, what's going on with that? You know, we ain't gonna know nothing. I don't know if they do a injury report this Wednesday or next Wednesday.
It'll be next Wednesday.
So we won't really know anything. But he wasn't at practice this Monday, I believe. But we got Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry, Marquez Callaway, Deontay Hardy, and old Traquan, bro. Traquan, that turd that won't flex, boy.
Bro, I was just sounds really bad, bro. I was just thinking like Traquan like a roach, bro. Like
damn, died.
Call it exterminator.
Eric, who they almost say Traquan like glitter, you know, he glitter on you and like 3 days later it's still on you. Damn, I still got glitter on my face.
Showered last night.
Traquan, baby. Traquan ain't going nowhere.
It's so funny.
He hurt his little hand, boy. He was like, shit, I'm good.
We talked spent all that time talking about wide receivers, how crowded it was. No. I know this episode has been kind of very lighting the team up. And to be fair, like I think they completely deserved it after the moves today, because I think the move they made today was just completely fucking dumb and terrible team management. But I will give them a bit of credit in like they easily probably could have traded Callaway, and no, according to the Ceedy trade, they probably just would have cut him or gave up for a 7th. But
right,
I'm at least glad they held on to him, because you keep talking about the offense. If the offense does well, and Jarvis Landry does well in the offense, like they won't be able to keep Jarvis.
Right.
So to have like Callaway as a backup, as a young like option, I think it's good.
Yeah.
But like I know the season's about to start, man. But like, looking to like next off season, man, it's gonna be like $54 million over the cap. Like, it's gonna be,
man.
Gonna be.
What else is new?
That's true. And then I have a question for you, right? Before we finish up, last question I have. I'm tired. I need to pack. Going to Texas tomorrow. Need to pack. But so now that Ceedy's traded, that whole the 3 players that they needed to potentially pay or extend, well, it was Ceedy, it was Eric McCoy, and it was Davenport. So now there's that 3 has whittled down to 2. So my question to you is, do you extend Marcus Davenport?
No. I don't even have to think about that. Why? Why would I pay Marcus Davenport? Like, why?
Who's this is me just playing
There's
devil's
no
advocate.
way I could write a check. Now, if he wanted to come back on like a deal, like a team friendly deal, we could work something out. But if he plays out this season and say he has 9 sacks, not a great season, but has 9 sacks, he's gonna be looking for 15 plus a year, bro. I can't pay Davenport 15 plus a year, bro.
Can't pay him that, bro.
No way. I can't do it. I can't.
So then, this is all me being this hypothetical, plus playing devil's advocate. If you were to let him walk, then the ends become like a 35, 34-year-old Cam Jordan, Peyton Turner, bro.
It's gonna be ugly, bro. they're gonna be packaging that 5th-round pick that they got for Ceedy Deuce, along with some other picks to get another fucking defensive end. That's what they're gonna be doing. How stupid that shit is. Just stupid.
And I'm not
man.
I'm not bagging on the Peyton Turner pick, bro. Oh no, sorry. I'm not bagging on Trevor Penning pick. I'm not, because I think that pick is gonna. I think it's gonna work out. I really do. But if Jermaine Johnson goes out and balls out for the Jets, bruh, and I get why they couldn't have drafted it. Let me take that back. I understand the optics of why they probably didn't draft him at 19.
Yeah.
Because you just drafted a 1st-round defensive end the last year, and then what does it go back to? Fucking cost, bro. But if Jermaine Johnson balls out for the Jets, bro,
should they have paid Teron Armstead?
No. To me, the Armstead thing is just like the Davenport thing, except Teron was just a better player. Like,
yeah.
I love Teron, but I paying him what he wanted to be paid and the amount of games that he potentially was going to be available. Like, the dollars and cents just wouldn't add up to me. And, which kind of just gives me back to the whole Ceedy thing, because Ceedy been healthy, but whatever. But I look at Davenport the same way, right? Like, and he's not to the level of his players Teron is.
No.
But just, I'm gonna pay you like what, 14, 15 million a year, and you're gonna play like what, 8 games,
right?
Not 9 games, maybe. And then it's like, do you I know you got the pinky amputated because you wanted to come back, but like, it's just weird to say, and I hate saying this about players, and I probably shouldn't, right? I'm gonna preface this by saying I probably shouldn't say this because I don't know shit, right? But like, he just comes across as like a player that just doesn't love football. And there's players that are like that, bro. They just are.
Yeah,
right.
I've been thinking that for a long time.
But you've been on this, like, you've been like the conductor of it. Like, you saw it probably even before I did. But then once you said it out, like, you can't unsee it because you're like, yeah, like, it all kind of fucking makes sense.
Just makes sense, man. And
so
it's one of those things where I see it because I see me. Like, I've been working in IT. I've been working in IT for, 16, 17 years. And it's not like I love it. I like computers and shit, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like I love what I do, but I like it enough and it pays the bills. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's just how he looks at it. Like, he's 6'5" and 6'6", 200-something pounds.
No, what else? Like, what else is he gonna do?
Fucking getting like what, 11 million this year? It's like, what the fuck else I'm gonna do? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play all the Fortnite I want. You know what I'm saying? Buy all the anime. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's like that.
No, you're right, man. All right, we're done. We're done. No more talking about it. These dudes. I mean, I'm gonna be in the air tomorrow morning, bro, and something gonna happen, bro. I can just feel it.
If they gonna do something to make me feel good, man. Like, I don't know.
They did it, bro. Right? You remember how we felt in Vegas, bro?
It did. That's
4
true.
months. 4 months ago, we was in
That's
Vegas.
True.
We was drinking. We was lit. They drafted Chris Olave. We was in Vegas. Like, shit was good.
Oh, and I want to thank the football guys. Chris Olave was healthy all training camp, man. All training camp. Came in, looked good. Never really was without a question about, is he good or not? Like, he came in and he just looked good. 1st-round pick. Like, no questions about it. Like, he's going to be fine.
He is. And I'll just say, they need, and Penning too, but this draft class, especially in the 1st round, man.
Ooh, they need it, boy.
Because if you we just the last 2 draft classes alone in the 1st round pick, you got Peyton Turner and Cesar Ruiz, bro. We want to talk. You want to talk about people that are stubborn, like Mickey's stubborn, but like, who we got to look at I know we got to look out in the mirror for the Reeves pick because he's not here anymore. But like, that Peyton Turner pick, Like I hope I can eat crow about him like we were eating crow about Pete Warner last season, bro. But like, I don't know. And we didn't even really have time to really like dive into the Alontae Taylor thing. Cause bro, we played something from May, but we didn't even play something that we recorded right after like day 2 of the trial, bro. We were just like, it's Alontae Taylor pick, bro. Like, see anything? Like, I don't know. And like we didn't really talk about him on this episode. We can talk about him later because we're wrapping up, but it just makes a lot of sense that they feel like they can coach him. He can play the slot, or they may, if they need him to, he could be the slot. But it's like it goes back to just the hubris and like, man, if you think you're a contender in a Super Bowl caliber team, and I know he's not playing that position, like it's going to be Roby, but like if Roby goes down and like you don't have a choice but to play Alontae Taylor, and if there's games that the defense are on the field and like he's like the only weak link that offense are going after, bro.
We've seen it. We've seen how that looks.
Bro,
We've seen where the secondary is all stacked, but PJ Williams is at nickel and just getting smoked. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you have Lattimore and Marcus Williams.
Nothing.
And this, that.
It's a matchup game. I know one thing, bro. That our Discord gonna be on fire during game day, bro. We gonna be.
Boy. Become a Patreon. I'm telling you,
$1
$1 or more, you can become a Patreon to be a part of our Discord.
Go about anyway. That's all I want to say. We I'm sure we will have something that we need to discuss later this week. Today's Tuesday. I'm sure we'll get a final 53-man roster within the next couple of days. We'll talk about that then. Thank y'all for supporting us. We truly appreciate it. Like we said, season starts like 2 weeks from now, bro. Like it's here. So please support us if you can. We have the Patreon, social media, retweet, this season we want to build this even bigger. And for us, the way we see it is that if we're getting told like we don't have like the cachet, we don't have the clout, we don't have the backing, we don't have enough engagement to get media credentials, then all we can do is just put that back on our listeners and say, listen, this is in y'all's hands, like period. If y'all want us to succeed and be great, like y'all got to put the word on the street. Y'all got to get your friends. If you're in the New Orleans area, in Louisiana, you got Saints fans and your family, your friends, and they not listening to us, you got to peep them to us. That's how that happens, right? Because if we don't grow it, and if it just stays how it is, and I'm okay with it staying how it is. I just want that to be clear. Like I have no problem where it is, but to truly grow, you just got to continue to get the word out. But we appreciate y'all. I know it's been an emotional day for y'all. Please, please, please. That's one thing we've talked about on this podcast for years. Please, please, please. Don't take this shit too serious, man. It's just fucking football. It's just a game. Disconnect. When the Ceedy trade happened, like I looked at my phone, I laughed, and I just kept pushing, bro. Like this shit don't even faze me anymore. Like I'm just so used to these niggas and they moves, bro. Like it don't faze me. So today, like you're just steamed and just pissed at the Saints. You want to go down airline? Take that plug out, man. It's gonna be okay. But we'll be back this week. Don't know when. Going on vacation, spending time with the family in Texas for about a week. But we for sure will be back to recap the finalized 53-man roster. We appreciate y'all. With that, we're out.
Peace.
O'Reilly.
You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly.